why when I'm high, do days fly by, but when I'm low, they burn slow, like the coal in the stove of a little old lady making tea hotter for her 3 daughters, who will not be coming around, for the price of a pound is not passed down by the loving sound of the pound in the one whose heart, no, making tea hotter for her 3 daughters, who will not come around, for the price of a pound is not turned down, it's not turned down by the sound of the pound in the one whose knees hit the ground, every day to pray for the day that their eyes will see that their dreams and schemes have all began to slip away on the day that their brain has been drained. Why when I'm high do days fly by, but when I'm low they burn slow, like the coals in the stove of a little old lady making tea hotter for her 3 daughters. Why when I'm high do days fly by, but when I'm low they burn slow, like the coal in the stove of a little old lady making tea hotter for her 3 daughters, who will not come around, for the price of a pound is not passed down to the loving sound of the one whose knees hit the ground, to pray for the day that their eyes will see that their brain is drained, all the dreams and schemes they so freely fiend away the day it all began to slip away. Why when I'm high do days fly by, but when I'm low they burn slow, like the coal in the stove of a little old lady making tea hotter for her 3 daughters, for they will not come around, for the price of a pound is not passed down to the loving sound of the pound of the knees of the one whose knees hit the ground, every day to pray for the day that their eyes will see I wrote that when I was 16. My brother went to prison when I was that age. He actually gets out of prison on the 22nd of March. I'm going to be 33 years old when he gets out of prison. He's been in prison for 15 years. But I wrote that the day he went to prison for amphetamines and for, I guess, ecstasy pills. I don't know for all the details, but he was the closest family member I had at the time. And when he went to prison, it was just surreal and unbelievable. I don't know. I don't know what my point is of this video. I was just thinking about my brother all day. We just found out a couple of days ago, I guess. I don't know how long ago, but we just found out that he's getting out. That through a clemency or some kind of program that he's gone through, has taken his time. So, I'm kind of just in shock. I'm like super excited because, you know, I haven't had a brother that was present in a long time. I don't know. None of it's relevant, I guess. I'm just sitting here in a thought, and I thought I'd film it. But I mean, he's been in prison since before 9/11. So that's 18 years, I guess. Shit, no, he's been in there longer than I think, because, see, 9/11 was my my junior year, and he went in my freshman year, so, shit, has he been in prison since 98? Man, I have to call my mom now. Shit. It's been too damn long. Our federal government decided that since he had drugs in one state and he lived in another state, they gave him a federal mandatory minimum because they were going to prosecute him in every state from Arizona back to Minneapolis. It was fucked up. I mean, and even deeper than that, the cops that busted him, like in Arizona, New Mexico or Arizona, wherever he got pulled over, he picked up the drugs and was heading back, but the drugs that were sent there by agents that were buying and selling drugs from my brother, and they basically mailed the drugs to the police department or the local bureau or whatever it was, and then they packaged it and sent it to the location where my brother picked it up to set him up. So it's sad, really. The whole mess of it is sad. But the good news is he's getting out in March, and short of his actual mandatory minimum. I think it's called a clemency. I said that a second ago, but I don't know exactly what it is. I just know it's a program that he opted to take while he was in, and he did not get any shots or any marks against him while he was doing his time, so. But still, shit, 25 years sentence, he still did at least 18. That's not a percentage, you know what I mean? If he had shot somebody in the state of Missouri, he'd have done like 18%. But because it was a drug trafficking charge, he had a mandatory minimum of 25 years. Because he bought drugs and was going to drive them back to his house. 25 years is what they were going to give him. I could go out in the street, you could go outside right now and shoot somebody and stand there and say I did it. And you're only going to get like 18% in the state of Missouri. Whatever your sentence is, you know what I mean? Like, you're only going to do 18 or 9, I don't even know. It's insanity. But for drug charges, we have mandatory federal minimums. They have dropped marijuana in the state of Missouri. They have dropped it down to anything under 35 grams is non-felony, which is fantastic, because 35 grams is like, what, an eighth or a quarter over an ounce? Like, so you're saying any citizen can have up to an ounce, and it's not going to be felony. It's just going to be a municipal court case. That's badass. That's decriminalization. That's us having the right to get in trouble if we want to. You know, it's different than it just being an outright crime, or, you know, I mean, I've had friends that did 120-day shock because they had a little broccoli sprig of pot in their back pocket. You know, 120-day shock for having a pot on you, dude. The laws have became a lot less strict than they were when I was a kid, but, you know, a lot of things have happened with medical and with just open-mindedness all around, I think, but still, like, fuck the business industry end of it and the legalized industry of it. Those people want money. I want people to have an open mind that an herb and a plant from the ground does nothing but open your mind. It doesn't, you know, you can call it laziness or unproductivity, but all it really does is open your mind to what's true to you, what's inside you and in your heart and in your mind. And the thing is if you've never even experienced THC in the system, you've never used a whole part of your brain. Like, that's what I always try to express with my mom, is that, like, she has, like, nodes in her brain, receivers, that only ever stimulate because of THC, or delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, or whatever the scientific smart people words are. But marijuana is, it's a plant, like an apple, that when you consume it, like an apple, it has a chemical reaction within the brain and within the body. Now, I will admit that when I eat an apple, I don't have a psychedelic reaction, but isn't the cool part about having a brain is that it's psychedelic? It sees color, it sees beauty, it sees darkness, it sees evil. But isn't that what the consciousness is? Isn't that what, you know, the words coming out of my mouth come from a thing up in my brain, but what causes me in here? What causes me to be me? And it's, you know, oh well, it's just electrical, you know, impulses and little sparks of energy that cause me to want to say, fuck you, government, fuck you, people that don't have an open mind that I might be different than you. I may not just want to drink one thing or drink another because, you know, you drink that one thing or you don't eat, you know, like, okay, vegans, they don't eat any animal byproduct. Okay. There doesn't have to be a diversion between the two concepts. Like, your diet is your diet because that's what's going on inside your conscience. Or conscious, you know, like, I don't know. I just think we live in a society that's got everything backwards. And the more you try to think backwards to counterbalance the way the world is, like, the more people stop you and say, they try to stomp it out. They try to dilute it, they try to spit on it, they try to mock it in any way possible. You know I sound like a rambling, crazy person, but I would rather sound like a rambling, crazy person and have something in my soul, and something inside my mind and who I am, that it means something, you know? That it is something. Do I have a point? No, I don't. Life keeps going. Life, is what it is, I guess. I have no control of this or that. All I have is, like I've been saying, like, my thought. My, that thing that's on when I go to sleep, and then it's still there while I sleep, and then when I wake up, I'm still that person. I'm still Chad, this guy. I'm still who I am. It never stops since I was little, since I really remember thinking anything. It's been this one. It's been who I am right now. Now that who I am has changed and been jaded, and, my heart's been hardened to certain, just what I define as BS, it's like I've been hardened of heart, but I'm still the same consciousness. This thought process. Does anyone else thought process ever stop? Do you guys just, like, not have one? Because my brain doesn't ever stop thinking thoughts. It doesn't ever stop being end of sentence. Like, it doesn't ever, there's always something causing my head to spin. There's always something that's there in my mind causing me to go, okay, well, rationalize it, do something. If that's the way you feel, say something. Like, I don't know, I think there's a good policy in life to say, be nice, be smart, and decide to care. I think that is a great a great motto for how you should treat the world. It's just be nice, use your intelligence, and when you see something that's not intelligent, decide to care about it. Like, help the situation, not destroy it, not shit on it, not just mock it or say, ha ha ha, look at you and your stupid kids. Like, help that person. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I've been rambling for almost 20 minutes, so